And Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar says Israel's recent strikes on Iran have weakened threats not only to Israel, but also to Europe and the wider West. Speaking alongside Lithuania's Foreign Minister in Vilnius, Sa'ar said Israel's actions severely damaged Iran's supply of drones, the same drones helping Russia in Ukraine. He described Israel as a key strategic partner for Europe, highlighting that its operations have pushed back Iran's nuclear program and intercepted thousands of Iranian drones. Sa'ar warned the threat is bigger than Israel alone, calling the fight a struggle between the free world and what he called a radical axis led by Iran and backed by Russia, China and North Korea. He thanked Lithuania for standing with Israel and urged Europe not to be confused about where its security interests lie. Sa'ar also reiterated Israel's commitment to reach a ceasefire deal with Hamas if hostages are freed and weapons laid down. Well, joining us to discuss these comments made is Jordan Cope, a Middle East expert who's joining us from Erfurt in Germany. Jordan, thank you as always for being here. I want to look solely at this moment at these comments that have been made by Gideon Sa'ar, looking at Europe and the Russia-Ukraine conflict and linking that to the Israel-Iran conflict, the 12-day war that took place. How significant could that alliance be, given that the US and Israel are also aligned as well in a world which is facing conflict on multiple fronts?
The world needs to realize that Iranian terrorism poses a threat not just to Israel, but to the world over. One must not forget that Hezbollah operates bases not just in the Middle East, an Iranian-sponsored terrorist organization and a proxy of Iran that has traditionally received $400 to $700 million a year, but it also has bases in South America and perhaps even in the Caribbean. It was reported that Hezbollah had bases in Cuba. Iran was also responsible, supposedly, for assassination attempts on President Trump's life, and recently it was developing ballistic missiles that were capable of hitting Europe. Iran decided to export a project of terrorism throughout much of the Middle East, and it ultimately funded these projects not just through its own funding, but the terror proxies funded themselves through drug trades, working with cartels worldwide. And so the threat that Iranian terrorism poses isn't just one circle, it's multiple concentric circles that has very real, devastating impacts, not just to leadership in the United States, but to communities throughout the world. And when Iran was able, if it were able to produce nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles capable of hitting Europe, by all means, it could exercise threats to intimidate Europe into its alignment.
Yes, Jordan, if you can stay with us.